right now on 5 on your side at 10.
An NFL standout returns to his Metro East roots.
That brief moment, that brief exchange is a lifelong memory, lifelong experience.
Teron Armstead tackles the hardwood to give back and invite some high-profile, familiar faces.
The storm system looks pretty impressive, but it won't create any severe weather. Why we're tracking 2 rounds of rain and how much of your weekend stays dry.
Our top story, multiple shots fired, steps away from children and a Missouri lawmaker. Terrifying moment right after a community meeting. Hear from people who dodged the bullets. Good evening, I'm Kelly Jackson. The barrage of gunfire happened outside the O'Fallon Park Recreational Complex last night in North St. Louis. Tonight, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend talked to the group who ran for their lives.
It was a terrifying time at O'Fallon Park for community activist Precious Jones.
I feel like we were getting ready to die.
Her 9-year-old nephew.
I just thought about my cousins and my dad and all my family members.
And Tiffany Palmer and her 8-year-old daughter.
I fear for my child's life, my life.
Just after 9:30 Thursday night, the group had just left a community meeting at O'Fallon Park Recreational Complex, walked outside, started chatting with Missouri State Representative Kimberly Ann Collins when suddenly about 20 gunshots rang out around them. They say it sounded like a war zone.
Oh yeah, they shooting.
The startled state rep immediately yelled to everyone to take cover.
I just couldn't believe that in the midst of having a conversation about gun violence and the community needs that happened.
Jones and her nephew ran and hid behind some bushes.
The bullet went fast.
Right by the third grader's head.
So I dropped to the ground and I balled up. And I was like, the next thing, the mom...
You were really scared.
Yeah.
The frightened women called 911. Police arrived but didn't find any shooters or evidence of a shooting.
So if you're hearing gunfire, call. We will come. There is a strategic plan that we have in place tracking gunfire.
So at this point, police still don't know if it was a shootout, a drive-by shooting, or just random gunshots firing off during that incident. One thing is certain, though, those 2 moms are just so glad they and their little ones survived.
Extremely grateful that God protected us.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tomorrow, St. Louisans have another chance to weigh in on how the city should spend its budget when the new fiscal year kicks in July. This after we learned the city could have to pay some $26 million to remote workers. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live downtown to explain, Brent, how some city residents are reacting.
That's right, Kelly, and many of them are reacting tonight. But I tell you what, Alderman Rasheen Aldridge tells me he doesn't expect a huge change in city services or a huge impact because the city has some $100 million in its reserves. That's not stopping other people from sounding off on how they feel the city should invest in this, how the city should invest in St. Louis. Take a look at this.
Things is changing. It's not getting better.
This week, city resident Stephen Witherspoon addressed the budget committee as it works to finalize next year's budget.
We had stores on each corner. We had Sears and Roebuck, different stores like that. I'm seeing things is deteriorating. Why are we not getting vacant houses torn down? And they've been there like 20 years.
He's one of several people who gathered at the Urban League to sound off on what they feel the city should focus on.
I don't see enough money in for parks and recreation.
When we call for defunding the police, we mean it. Right now, getting rid of ShotSpotter, Real-Time Crime Center, SWAT, and vacant positions would be a good start.
We don't need really more policing. We need something more for those who being policed. More programs other than basketball for the youth in the summertime. The youth that we need to come to those centers won't show up.
Leaders listened and thanked the public for this feedback. This as they go line by line. One line includes a $1.3 million salary adjustment to make sure your trash is being picked up on time.
We were having a hard time retaining our refuse department drivers, and they get very nice offers to leave our city.
Alderwoman Kara Spencer heads the Budget Committee and has concerns of her own.
Massive population loss. We're seeing an enormous amount of people leaving our city, in particular leaving North St. Louis.
These neighbors are hoping with the right investment, city leaders can turn the tide.
You got more money than you ever had in years.
You or someone you know wants to sound off about this situation, you can do so tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the International Institute. That's on Arsenal Street. Tonight we're live downtown. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tonight, 2 scathing lawsuits accuse a St. Louis police officer of having a history of physical abuse. Bar PM co-owner James Pence is suing Officer Ramel Wallace, along with the police department and the city of St. Louis. It claims the officer of taking Pence into custody without probable cause, beating his husband Chad Morris, and falsely arresting him as well. The lawsuit involves Richard Hopkins III and its case that happened 6 months prior. Hopkins said he was assaulted by the same officer while being detained at the St. Louis City Justice Center. Earlier today, his attorney said this is the 4th incident they've heard of involving the officer.
I'm just shocked that it took this event to find out how many other events this officer's been involved in, and the city has done nothing to prevent it or take him off the streets.
We want to note, though, the officer has not been charged with the crime. Both lawsuits are asking for a jury trial. We did reach out to the police department and the city for reaction. Both said they do not comment on pending litigation. Now to an update on a story we covered last night at 10. Water pressure is now restored at a North St. Louis apartment building. Tenants at Webster School Senior Apartments complained their water has been consistently or completely dried up for weeks. After our story aired, the city sent a plumber to the apartments today to fix the problem. And we caught up with the tenant who was thankful to have running water again.
Yeah, I'm elated. Yeah. Who wouldn't be? Take a nice hot shower. Yeah.
A city spokesperson tells 5 on your side a valve on the building's service line was partially shut, and once they opened it, the water pressure came back to the building. Well, rain has moved into the bi-state tonight. Could it wash out your weekend plans? Let's check in with meteorologist Gary Frank with how long it'll stick around, Gary.
Yeah, I think the overnight hours are actually going to be the most consistent rain that we see. Then there are going to be some off and on things that we'll look at. Right now, Kirkwood's starting to get a little bit more wet. Mainly this has been on the Missouri side. As you'll see, a lot of this hasn't necessarily crossed the river fully. There have been a few showers here and there. That's starting to work its way in. You'll see that pretty consistent rain in Rolla, even some moderate rainfall. And that's probably what we're going to look at here over the next couple of hours as that steady rain settles in. It's just spinning from south to north along this low, which I'll show you here a little bit shortly, but really that's been the most consistent rain that's settled in from the south. From Farmington, you've got more rain early, a little bit in Chesterfield as well as New Melly and Washington. Temperatures have cooled down to the mid-60s where it's rained more consistently. You'll notice on the Metro East, low 70s. That's why it hadn't rained there yet. Dry air is still there, and this weekend, rain will move into the Metro East too, into the overnight hours, but we'll see heavier rain early tomorrow. It's more scattered, but some of those showers could get our attention as well before a mainly dry Sunday. So we'll focus on that rain into the overnight hours. We'll also talk about how much rain we're expecting in some cases and the driest day of the next couple.
All right, Gary. Well, sometimes it's good to not stay in your lane. That's what we saw tonight in Cahokia Heights as some NFL stars traded in their cleats for kicks on the court. New tonight, Annie Crawl was there talking to the local sports icon, making it all possible.
A star-studded event walking the halls of Cahokia Heights High School Friday, including New Orleans Saints defensive end Cam Jordan and Hansel Emmanuel, the one-armed Division I basketball player, putting a brighter spotlight on the Metro East community, thanks to hometown hero Teron Armstead.
That brief moment, that brief exchange is a lifelong memory, lifelong experience. You create a new fan, you create someone now that I can watch.
I really feel like him being back and plus bringing, all the rest of the celebrities, it makes it even much bigger, with the kids being around her, and it gives them something to look forward to.
Ahead of the charity celebrity basketball game, signing a piece of history to create a more inspired tomorrow.
I feel like he's one of the best linemen in the NFL.
Really? Why do you say that?
I mean, I've been looking up to him since I was like 4 years old. and then he's pretty cool.
The 5-time Pro Bowler was a wall during the 2023 NFL season, and with the Dolphins, he said that skill set came from Cahokia High School.
I competed in track and field with Cahokia High School throughout my high school career, well, my junior and senior year. Cahokia track background, lineage, championship history is extensive, with maybe 10 state championships.
Armstead's foundation focuses on closing the opportunity gap in St. Clair County.
AI or tech or politics, anything, we try to introduce and expose our youth to every possible walk of life so that they don't have to just think football, basketball, anything that you possibly want to do.
Looking at the future of the 32-year-old's NFL career,
we have some great new acquisitions. Third year in the system with Mike McDaniel. This new regime that we have. We got a new defensive coordinator coming over from Baltimore. I love where we are.
Especially back home. Reporting in Cahokia Heights, Annie Kroll, 5 on your side.
Tomorrow, Armstead will host a free football skills camp for kids at Cahokia High School. Besides working on football speed drills and passing, there will also be face painting, snow cones, and of course, bounce houses. Plus the chance to meet the local NFL star himself. The Missouri Speaker of the House sued the alleged misconduct brought forward by the chamber's top staff members. From the weight room to the Olympics, a weightlifting coach is raising the bar for more than just his high school athletes.
It kind of amazed me, because he's working out with these great, strong athletes, putting 245 pounds over their head like nothing, and I'm like, wow.